Welcome back to the show. Many thanks for staying with us. I've been joined in the studio by Kwadwo Poku. He's an energy expert. He's the CEO of Kasoa Oil Limited. You're welcome, sir.
Hi, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I hope you're good as well.
We are surviving. So
okay, let's look at, let me take your initial thoughts about this proposal that's coming from government and the sort of reaction that it's attracted. First, Ghanaians are excited. I mean, every form of reduction is good for every Ghanaian family. So Ghanaians are excited about the reduction, but then the kite, for example, we've been speaking to them, they think that there are concerns that needs to be addressed. They're not sure if it's sustainable or if it's feasible. What are your thoughts?
Well, yes, as consumers, it's good news. But I want to quickly put in what you were discussing with the former Energy Minister, Honorable Katie. You see, there are two aspects of this conversation. If government wants to reduce taxes, the right forum to do that is in Parliament. We saw that in the previous budget when government wanted to reduce taxes on the electricity levy. It went ahead in the budget statement and announced reduction of, because it has to be approved by Parliament for you before you can have reduction in taxes.
Right.
The minute government says that it's going to PLC to discuss with PLC, it means that government wants to discuss the energy charge, which is basically what the generation companies, the IPPs, the independent power producers, what they generate and what they sell to the distribution company, which is ECG. Okay? There are 4 columns in your electricity bill. There is the energy charge, there is the service charge, there is the national levy, electricity levy, and there is the street lighting. Okay? Government only touches those taxes, and he can only do that if he does that in Parliament. Like yesterday, he would have said that I'm reducing 2% or 3% of these levies. He didn't say that. He said, we have had a conversation. We think that we need to restructure the billing, the way the billing is done. It needs to be restructured. And some of us have been for that system for a very long time.
Okay.
Look.
So this is obviously something that you support.
Yes.
Tell us why.
Because I think that what we pay is not realistic in terms of what we should pay, looking at the fact that government has renegotiated a lot of the PPAs. The power purchase agreement has certain things in there. In the past, a power purchase agreement will have a take or pay. Okay, take or pay being that if government doesn't take electricity, it still has to pay the IPP the capacity charge. The new PPA doesn't have that. It has take and pay. So if government doesn't take electricity, it doesn't pay. Okay? Now, you now have gas input. Remember that there was this ENI gas. In the past, some of us said that, look, the ENI gas was negotiated too high. And even the gas from West Africa gas pipeline from Nigeria to here was cheaper than the ENI gas. This government has asked the relevant agencies to renegotiate the ENI gas for it to be cheaper. So it means that the input, what goes into to get us the energy, the generation, there's been a lot of reduction in the formula. So that is why the government is saying, look, with the formula that we arrive at our energy charge, the variables, some of the variables has changed. So let's have a conversation around the reduction of the energy charge.
But if you say we should have a conversation around the charges, then you're already proposing percentages.
Yes, but that's what they're saying, that with their calculation, if PLC accepts what they have done, we can get as much up to 13% for residential. As
much up to, but you see, when you go out there and you put some of these figures out, 13% for domestic consumers, about 21% for mines, etc., which Dr. Kwadwo was talking about, and everybody gets excited, and we're going to pay 13% less, and the PRC doesn't. Was that appropriate forum?
Well, that's politics, and that is where the politicians have their problems.
Okay.
I think that the best way to go about this, there was no need for the president to preempt this speech in his speech to the AGI. There was no need for the Minister of Energy when he went to Cape Coast to the NDC conference to say there's going to be a reduction in electricity. There was no need for any of that. But that's politics. We have to give it to them. They have to run a campaign of election. So we have to give politics their due. We that don't do politics sit back and we are marveled why they do that. But you have to understand.
So as far as you're concerned, this is a good deal, especially when we're told that what goes into generation basically has reduced, the cost of generation has reduced.
Not all the cost, some of the variables that goes in the generation has reduced. Which makes it possible that, yes, there can be a reduction up to 13%.
But Dr. Kwadwo makes a point about dealing with this in an upside down sort of approach. He thinks that domestic consumers, for example, should be paying more.
Yes.
But they from what government is doing, or should be paying much more, yeah. So
Yes.
from what government is doing, the industry, those in the mining industry,
Right.
for example, are going to pay less.
Well, the mining, I'm surprised I'm even surprised that
And for local industries, they have 11%.
Well, like, I'm going to get to the point which Honorable KD was making. Look, the mines, I'm even surprised the Minister of Finance mentioned the mines. Most of the mines are bulk customers, and they negotiate their own tariffs.
All right.
So they are not part of the basket which government can come and say they get up to 21%.
Okay.
Most of the mines, almost all of them, are bulk customers. So bulk customers negotiate their own tariffs.
Okay.
So the 21% should really be for manufacturing, not for the mines, because the mines do their own negotiations anyway, and most of them pay much less than what the government thinks they pay, because they buy directly. Because as a bulk customer, you can now engage a company who is an IPP directly without necessarily going through ECG or whatever. So you can directly now either have your own generation or go to VRA or whoever you want to get your own, your own negotiation. So yes, Honorable Commander is right. The 21% should be for manufacturing, not mining. But look, all is not lost. The government signaled an intent. Let us focus on the intent of government trying to give relief to Ghanaians, be it 5 cities, 10 cities, in real term of saving.
Okay.
There is intent from government. I hold the opinion that government is not supposed to give us anything. Government is supposed to take from us.
Okay, well, government is already taking from us, and when you take from us,
our obligation.
But when you take from us, we need to see that the money you've taken is at work.
So we need to hold them responsible for what they use the money for. But if government now signals an intent to give you back something, it's good news. So to me, the intent of government to now make sure that Ghanaians get some relief is good news.
Okay.
The way they've gone about it, I wouldn't go about it that way. But then again, I'm not a politician.
How would you have gone about it if you were to give advice?
The consultation, the questions that everybody has been asking is that if you had to go and consult PULC, why couldn't you have contacted PULC, had that conversation with PULC
before you come
and tell us? Exactly, because at the end of the day, you know that PULC traveled. PULC hasn't gone anywhere. And most companies, they don't even have a board. PLC still have a board. They have a commission. So you could have gone to PLC, done your engagement with them, taken away the fanfares and the politics out of it, and after you have concluded, the announcement will be made by PLC.
Right.
Then government will take the glory of initiating that conversation with PLC. So to me, like I said, if somebody comes on to say that it's been done in the roundabout way, I agree. But let's not forget the goodwill and the intent of what government intend to do. Government don't always get it right, but as citizenry, we only look for the silver lining. The silver lining is that we are looking at up to 13% reduction in our energy charge. Now, let me add this. People should not expect 13% reduction in their end bill.
Why not?
Okay? Because
I'm expecting.
No, because there are 4 columns, as I said earlier. The 4 columns makes up your final electricity bill.
Okay.
There is only 1 column that is being reduced, which is the energy charge. By 13%.
Okay.
So the other columns are percentages. So the percentages will be calculated on what you get out of the energy bill. Let me give you an example. If, let's say, the 3 other columns comes up to 40 cedis, okay? And there is a 13% decrease. Your bill is 100 cedis a month. 60 cedis is energy charge. 20 cedis is your taxes that you pay, okay? But those are calculated a percentage of your energy charge, okay? So if you now do 13% of the energy charge and add the percentages, it's different figure compared to if you do 13% of the summation of all the figures. You understand? Because percentages work differently. So that's what I'm saying, that some people might get higher, some people might see lower reduction. But Ghanaians should not rush to ECG on January 2017 and start 2018 and start fighting with them that, look, government said 13% reduction, I'm not seeing it. because everybody will have their own different savings that they will get.
I think that will behove on the ECG to be able to explain it to people and conduct all of these public education so people understand.
Right.
That is if PURC agrees. But then there's a school of thought that PURC really can't disagree with government.
No, they can, because PURC is a board made up of AGI, Labour, the TUC, and other people that forms PLC. Okay. So you can't go and bomb rush them with a proposal.
I mean, a proposal that's supposed to reduce tariffs for Ghanaians.
Yes.
They will perhaps agree.
No, but it is a good thing for them to agree, because, like I'm saying, the price structure that we have it, to me, need to be realigned. Okay. And when you do realign it, Ghanaians, we should see. To me, I even think some people might even get more savings than the 13%.
Well, that would be good.
I believe that if they do it well, because there is room for that reduction in terms of doing it properly. Okay. Not one person sitting there and directing that it should be done, but a proper consultation in the industry will now see a much better reduction in the industry.
For those who do not agree, those who think that, not that they don't agree, but for those who think that this is not feasible, it is not sustainable, they raise issues about generational costs. Now, the Deputy Minister was just telling us about the fact that there's been a reduction in the cost of transportation, for example, of gas from a turbo, and that's part of the reason why we're having this reduction. Is it going to be constant?
Well, let me give you my personal opinion. I don't even think there should be a reduction. There's no need for it. Reason being, there is already a sector that has huge debts. Okay? The debts in the sector, government tried to borrow money to clear the debt, and it couldn't raise all the money. So there's still some debt that is going to be there. Okay? That is not a sector that government goes to reduce prices in there, because already ECG has every day saying, look, the 1.2 government owes. Let me tell you the multiple debts there are. Government owes by not paying its bills. So all government, state-owned enterprises, ministry, department, and agencies don't pay their bills. They've not been paying till now. For the last 10 months of MPP, nobody has been paying their bills.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I see.
So in the debt is not only there before MPP came. During the 10 months of MPP, nobody's paying his bills because government doesn't have money to pay those bills.
And is this something that you can? I mean, so this is news to me. I haven't heard that the government has not, that for the at least for the 10 months that the MPP, for example,
they've not been, whatever they came to be, they've not paid off, and they've been added to it. The police, the barracks. See, look, the police, the barracks, the prisons have not been paying their debts. They've not been paying it before NDC, before MPP came.
So where are you getting this information from, though?
Oh, you can call ECG. They'll tell you.
I see. So because of these debts that are these outstanding debts, government is trying to clear it.
Government should try to clear it.
Yeah, so they say they are trying.
And they are trying to clear it by going to get the loan.
The bond.
But I would have expected that in January, when they came in and said it was 1.2, they would have stopped the bleeding. Okay, put bandage and iodine to stop the bleeding.
By not adding up to the debt.
But not adding more debt. Okay. Go to Ghana Gas. This morning, I heard a member of parliament saying that there's a 300 million debt this year alone for Ghana Gas. I don't know how far that is true, but I know that Ghana Gas also is owed some money. Okay? So the point is that if it's 1.2 and you're going to go into the market to look for money, you go and look for money by plugging and stopping. Install prepaid meters in all state-owned enterprises and agencies that you want to stop there. But you've not done that. So the 1.2 you came to meet, within the last 10 months, you've added to it.
Perhaps doubling it.
Well, perhaps adding about 800
Of course, we have a lot more ministers now than we used to.
There we go. So you said it, not me. But the point I'm trying to get across is that now that you now have that, that's what people are saying it's not feasible. Because already, ECG, when it comes to paying their bill, are some millions of dollars behind what they are paying. Okay, you are not paying your bills, but now what small revenue is coming to them, you now further want to reduce it to give Ghanaians leverage.
Which is why I think that there will be a bone of contention when it comes to PLC.
Well, PLC does not necessarily only take into consideration generators and government. They take also into us, me and you, whether consumers should get a relief. Okay, so they represent us and represent them as well. So if they think that the conditions are right and we should get a relief, why not?
We'll see how it goes. They'll have to be working out the balancing act some way, somehow. Let me take your very final comments. I mean, I know you've said a lot, but final comment on this. I know
I find it very, to me, what is very strange about this whole discussion is when NDC comes out to talk as if they are not the cause of the problem. You see, it's very funny, because look, MPP came and meet the situation. They are trying to make a best out of what the situation they found. It's funny how Ghanaians forget that the mess we are in economically is because of NDC.
I thought you didn't want to do politics.
No. I'll get to that point.
Okay.
You see, NDC are not happy when MP doesn't give them credit for solving Dumso. But you see, if you don't get credit for one, you can't get credit for the other.
But they believe that they put in the measures.
They did.
They put in the foundation to solve the problem.
They solved Dumso.
Right,
Let's not miss words. NDC solved Dumso. MPP is sustaining the Dumso. So take it from me, NDC solved the Dumso, because what has MPP really added to the grid? Not much. They have put in place 445 to come on the grid. What you have there now was put in by NDC. But guess what? In doing so, they messed up economy. The economy that we had, the debt piled up and all the things, they caused it. Okay. So you cannot say that, no, I didn't mess up the economy, but I want to take credit for Dumso. You can't. We see, whatever MPP inherited, if I'm going to give you credit for solving Dumso, then you should take the credit for messing up the economy.
For breaking the economy, okay.
So that is the point. So whatever the mess the government is trying to solve is as a result of NDC, what they left behind. But credit should be given. They solved Dumso.
All right. I take that as your final word then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming through. Kwadwo Poku is an energy expert. He's the CEO of Kasoa Oil Limited. You've heard his thoughts as well, sort of in alignment with what Dr. Kobna Donko says. We're turning the bottle upside down some way, somehow. We wait to see what the PRC says about this and how we take this from here. But away from energy and electricity, this afternoon the police is engaging the residents of Kasoa, where armed robbers and land guards have been terrorizing the people for weeks, if not months. A woman in her 20s was killed this week to cap many attacks in the area. Director General in charge of police operations, Dr. Dampare, is leading a police delegation to the Kasoa area today. Latif Idrisi is traveling with them. Let's see if Latif can hear me. He can hear me, certainly. Latif, tell us a bit about this town hall meeting.
Yeah, Gifty, like you rightly pointed out, the meeting is headed by the Director General in charge of operations, Dr. Dampare, and he's joined by the Central Regional Commander of the Police Service within the region, Mr. Enin. He is leading the team from the Central Region, joining the Director in charge of operations. And we have a number of police personnel as well joining this whole operations. Now, the first port of call was at Opeikuma, where we know that a commercial driver was killed somewhere this week or last week by land gas. That's the reports we got in the course of the week last week. And so the commander and the team visited the residence of the late commercial driver and paid tributes to his family. Now, from there, this is the second port of call, actually, but we've not have much information as to why the police have decided to visit this residence. We told a young lady in this, house also died. We do not know if she died at the hands of land guards or otherwise. We are yet to unravel that. But currently, the police is meeting the family of the deceased. We are waiting for them to conclude this meeting. Then we will engage the police to find out why they paid a visit to this residence. Now, from here, we know that the police is moving to yet another community or within the Kasoa environs, trying to, stamp out the activities of land guards and armed robbers who have found this area as a safe haven operating. And so essentially that's the reason why this whole activity is taking place within Kasoa and its environs. Back to you, Gifty, in studio.
Okay, Latif, we'll be coming back to you as we go along here on the bulletin. We want to find out what happened to the men that were brought in from Cape Coast to help deal with this problem. But like you said, we'll have to wait for the police to finish the meeting with the family of the deceased, and then we'll get that more information. Latif Idrisi there live in Kasoa, where the police is meeting with people there, trying to deal with the problems the security problems that have come there. Well, I'm not sure how many of you like to watch Kumkum Baja, but of course you do know that it's the talk of town at the moment, and we understand that the cast of that that drama series are coming to Ghana. Don't know if they're already in yet, but when I come back, we'll tell you a bit more. Please stay with us.